My name is Jesse Davis, host of the Penthouse Podcast, where I interview a lot of my longtime friends, some of the members of my club, and some of Wilmington's finest people. I am so excited to do this show, and I hope you will tune in. Hello, my name is Jesse Davis, and welcome back to the Penthouse Podcast. Today, I have my special guest host. I have Monica Fish.
Hi, how you doing?
Monica's here from Charlotte. She's got a place over in Wrightsville Beach. She frequents here quite often. She's one of my really good buddies. I have a lot of fun with her, and she's here today to talk about her travel consulting company that she's just started. I'm very proud of her. And Monica, tell us a little about it.
We live?
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think just to start with my background a little bit, Okay.
Morty.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, all right, you know what? First of all, this is my second offsite podcast. Zach and I came over here to Wrightsville Beach to my friend Neil McIntyre's home. He's just recently finished building it. He's moved in.
Doctor
McIntyre, Dr. Neil. But the house is amazing. It's 4 levels. It's got a pool. It's on the Intercoastal Waterway off of Pelican Drive here in Wrightsville Beach. And the house is amazing. He's got a little beautiful doggy up there called Morty.
Hey, buddy.
He owns the top floor. He's the cutest dog. Maybe we should show Morty at some point. Get a little appearance.
Yeah.
But Neil, this house was built by a architect in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
And that was after Hurricane Florence. The house that was originally here was condemned. And he's built this magnificent monster home. It's state of the art. It's an amazing, beautiful place. And we're lucky to actually just enjoy this one and show it off. And
you know what a fun fact is that can we talk about this for a minute? Are you able to bleep him out?
Oh yeah, he can beep stuff out. It's okay. It adds to the,
with my ADD,
his dog's
I'm
up there on the fourth floor.
And you see him creeping,
He's
watching us with his eyes, just like a bug.
Oh, Morty, you'll have to see.
You know what the fun thing?
It's an English bulldog, right?
It is.
Yes.
It is. And what the fun thing about this house is,
we'll have to show a picture of Morty on the podcast.
Yeah, I actually came in here and helped Neil because he does work so much, and organized the place, made sure workers were here. It was quite a process. Construction is tough, which is why I did not go into construction.
Well, you did an amazing job designing this, helping.
Yeah, it was great. But I think, one of the things that you and I have in common is obviously the beach, being outgoing, loving people, making folks happy, travel, all those things. But I think, one of the things that I was blessed with was corporate America. As much as most folks don't say that, I can honestly say that is what gave me the itch to actually go out and create my own. So I've been in tech now for 17 years, and I had global roles there. So whether I was in Asia Pac, EMEA, AMR, it was great. And I think that really gave me the opportunity to explore and stay after all the corporate events and meetings to say, where am I going to adventure to next? Mm-hmm. And so, growing up, I just think that instead of my parents buying me cars and, things that all the other kids had, they would say, where do you want to go for a trip? It can be international, because they wanted me to be more cultured. And I think that's what's brought me to what I'm doing.
That's amazing. It's so important now to get cultured, because a lot of people don't have that luxury, or that, I don't know, even just that get up and go. I mean, I didn't really, growing up, I had to work for every cent that I had. And I also was able to travel, though. I saved, and, my first trip, I went to England, and it was the first time I ever flew out of the country, and all by myself, and I saved. And, you go there, and then I did Spain, and then next thing you know, I'm in Italy, and then then you get the itch.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, I want to keep going. And then Australia and Sweden, but you get in the culture. I've not been to any Asian countries yet. No.
You got to go to Singapore. You got to go skiing in Japan. I mean, these are all places that come to the front end of my thinking of what I've enjoyed and what I want to preach to all the folks. But I think too, Jesse, it's important for us to also realize that, did you know that over 50% of Americans don't have passports?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing.
Don't let that passport expire. It's
And
a
I
pain in the ass to
think,
get
humans in nature, regardless of where you're from, you're creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's other folks that rely on the news and are very scared as to traveling across the pond, so I call it. And that's why I did create Travel Like the Fish, being Monica Fish. But I did that because I've had so many folks, where's the fish this week? Where's the fish? And instead of it being Monica, I thought this comes so natural. Why not just say Travel Like the Fish? So today is my launch of my new website.
Yes.
It's finally happened.
So where can they go to find this?
It will be as simple as www.travellikthefish.com.
Travel Like the Fish.
And, you can submit requests. There's also itineraries that are already, basically quoted out for them. But I like to customize, and I definitely think that is a part of the passion, is just
so exciting.
Setting things up where you put yourself in those folks' shoes and really think about what would be inconvenient, knowing that they have teenagers or college students, and putting them in whether it's speakeasies or, the city centers or
games
but not where they're having to constantly take an Uber here and there. Just walk.
You could go to one of those like outdoor shopping places where there's a sporting event, there's shopping, there's restaurants, there's all those things to do.
Right.
Because when you're traveling, you want to get out. Like, it's the worst thing to do is go somewhere and stay in the hotel the whole time.
I know.
But get out there and venture off a little bit. I mean, unless you're at one of those all-inclusive things where, it's just safer to stay there and everything is there.
Right.
But when, you're going somewhere you've never been, you definitely should get out. I always want to go, to the dives.
That's what's good, right? Especially, in England, right?
The food is better.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and there's something to be said. And I really changed someone's trip just the other week, because I was preaching about Portugal. I think Portugal is one of the most incredible places.
Portuguese.
Of course you are. Are you really?
I'm Portuguese, yeah. I want to go to Madeira. That's on the top of my list.
Monaco, Ibiza,
yes.
all the places.
Let's go.
But I changed their trip because they wanted to go to Monaco and it was 115 degrees. You can't have a good time.
No.
You wouldn't have a good time.
No. It's brutal out there today, y'all. God knows.
It is.
You said you ran the loop.
I did.
It
was
100
hot.
degrees out there.
I'm not going to lie. I did walk a little bit.
But I want to, you know what? Before we get too ahead of ourselves, what did inspire you to do the travel, to get in there and, just because, you are married. You can tell a little history with your husband, Chip. He's awesome.
He's a good man from Georgia, Savannah.
How long you been married?
7 years.
7 years.
Together for 12. He is a huge supporter of me and saying run with it and the sky's the limit. And I think that's also a very important piece of entrepreneurs is you do need a really good support person.
Absolutely, and that will let you kind of go, and especially if you're going to make money and you're not just sitting at home, or you're bringing something more to the table than you get all that experience under your belt. So it's like you also get to miss each other. And I tell my friends that are married, that are just together all the time. They're also fighting all the time. It's like you need that time to miss each other. And I feel like you and Chip get that.
We do.
Kind of that healthy break.
Yes, we do. And I think, too, he would laugh at that statement you made about letting, because when females... Not
letting, but you know what I mean.
But you know what I mean.
Being okay with it.
Yes.
Because a lot of them, they're like, oh, you're not going,
Right.
Why would you want to do that?
But I have to tell you, though, probably more times than none, I have said, honey, I'm extending my stay. I'm actually on a train to Amsterdam right now. And I think that also gives you a sense of
trust.
Yes, trust, self-worth. You're valuing yourself to say, I'm okay. And I don't know what's the outcome.
You're still in your life journey as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And don't forget about that.
Yes. Don't lose yourself.
Yes. And I think a lot of people do. I do not have children, which probably helps my entire scenario.
Ditto.
Bless.
Oh, man.
We did good.
So what would you say what's gonna set your travel agency apart from all the other ones that are out there with your competitors?
I think what I've really done was leverage the communities of people that I've known for years. I know what their expectations are. I know what their level of travel would look like, and
tolerance of
yes. Yeah. And I think for me, what's different is I really cultivate an experience for them to where a lot of them say, this will be my only trip to Europe, my only trip to, Australia. No, it's not. You're going to go over there.
There's so many countries inside of Europe.
You're going to go over there and love it. And I think that one of the places that really evolved me to make this move was when I was at the PGA event in Pinehurst. And
you got a window washer behind you. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I don't think. Hello.
Might as well be reality.
Hi. How's it going? We have a special guest host today, everybody. He's making a cameo.
In the middle of a podcast.
No, you're
That's
fine.
fine. Do your thing.
You're good. You're good. That's what keeps it fun, Never a dull moment
What I wanted to
around
say
here.
is that, what really made me turn the corner is that I had done my birthday here with you, gone to Las Vegas that I do every year for a big show, flew back into Charlotte, and my husband said, you know what, I've got box seats at the golf tournament in Pinehurst. I thought, why would Monica miss this opportunity? So what ended up happening, I drove there, and we ended up having dinner right beside Rory McIlroy and his agent / best friend, Mitchell Tweedy.
He plays with his Tweedy.
Okay, this is a quick 10-second story.
Is her mic good? Where she's at?
Mitchell and 8 of his buddies have been best friends with Rory. They were born over there in Ireland, of course. And
You were there for a minute.
I was there.
I've never been to Ireland.
I'm not even done with that.
Is it amazing?
It's incredible, but people drink way too much. So
That's what they say.
you and I wouldn't survive long over there. But I managed.
Why do the Irish have such a
tolerance?
No, a reputation for being such heavy drinkers. I mean, Wilmington is probably the most drunkest town in the
thought.
world. Until you go to Ireland.
Yes.
I don't know if there's any competition, but my God, I don't know if my liver can take it.
But I guess that night, it was great because Roy got to know us as people. And the best story is this. I asked him to take a picture of his best friend and I instead of getting a photo
And this
with
is at
Rory.
Pinehurst Country Club?
Yes. And it was great because I think Roy was very taken back that I didn't want a photo with him.
Okay.
But for me,
People respect, they love that. It makes
They
them
do.
actually want to actually talk to you.
Yes.
That's like having the relationships in LA I had with all those different
Right.
celebrities. I wasn't there to score a picture.
I know.
I actually was interested in who they were.
yes,
You know?
exactly. And then in speaking with him, I think he's only 3 houses down from my aunt and uncle
Oh,
in
wow.
Jupiter. So back to your
Okay.
point, you have to have conversations to be able to get to know people.
Yeah.
But he ended up having a call after the event was over and with me and saying, look, I'm international clients, but these are guys that are up and coming in the PGA. And though I own my own company, I do not have a travel agent, supporter, specialist.
So now you'll be your own.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
And get paid for it.
So,
Hey,
Dr.
hello.
Neil is in the house.
Dr. McIntyre's arrived, everyone.
It's
Oh, no,
okay.
you're not.
Morty has been a part of this as well.
Morty, we got the
He
window
has been-
washer.
He is looking like this at us. Is the
Oh, look,
cutest
he's right. He's right there. No, he's great. No, we're gonna have to
Now
edit.
we're going to take
edit.
a
We're
clip
gonna have
of
to
him
edit
because
pictures.
he's
Of
been doing his presence up there.
We were gonna do it outside, but it's like 150
Yeah,
degrees
exactly.
outside.
Oh my God, it's so hot. Man, you look good.
How many did you sew up
Losing
today?
some weight.
The black looks good.
he
It's
works-
hotter than hell out there. Though.
Yeah, he works way too much, but he's putting people's joints back together. But I think a part of that, Manola, Manola teaches golf. He lives in the hills of Beverly Hills. And what's great is he said, look, you came up to me at breakfast. I can tell you're passionate about travel. I can tell you want to influence. You want to get people out into the world. And I am here to coach you. I have never even done that for a family member. But I really want you to take this to the level you want it to. And it was like,
What makes you
that.
choose these places for these people? Do they have a certain demographic, like a geographical?
well,
okay, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Asia.
Yeah. I think if I understand if they want activities, if they want the spas,
They just want to
and
stay at the hotel.
Yes,
all
exactly,
inclusively.
right? Or is it back to the point of the families?
Adventure.
Yes. So I had a family that went to South Africa and asked me if the children could have high noon tea with giraffes.
Oh, how fun.
Isn't that fun? The dad
Yes.
wanted to, while the mom was
High
actually...
noon tea with
right?
giraffes.
Yeah, I mean, it was an arm and a leg cost, but that was something that he wanted his girls to remember forever. And I think that that's a
What
huge
a
part of it.
special experience
Yes.
to give somebody that.
I mean, you and I haven't...
You know what? A lot of people we know now don't want gifts. Like, let's do it. Let's go do something. Like,
Right.
it's an experience. Like,
Right,
let's
right.
go, instead of don't buy me something. Let's just book a ticket together and go and do that. Yeah.
And I think also, like, that's the piece, even with real estate, is there are so many folks that do spend large amounts of money on travel, and then they go over there and they see the opportunity and potential to buy places in other countries. That's not something you and I are thinking about all the time, but like when you're there and you see the ambiance and see the culture and you see yourself there, VRBO it.
It's crazy.
It's a lot.
Because the Airbnbs and VRBO, I mean, it's gotten where you can go somewhere to a different city or country and stay in a different house. So you're still there because you get familiar with like what restaurants you like and what
Right.
what tour guide you liked at a certain place. But at least you get to go stay at a different
Right.
location.
So you have to ask me, who has influenced the most funding for me? Funding meaning
Okay.
my bank account.
So who's funding all this?
Well, it's funny you should ask. Taylor Swift.
What?
Listen.
Come on.
Listen.
Swifty, she's paying for this company.
Swifty has done numerous.
Let's get her on the call.
I know. Call Taylor. Because she is going to all these countries and doing concerts that, like Mulan, for example, in Italy, I had 5 families that reached out to me 10 days prior to departure and said, we've got 3 kids, we've got 5 kids, we've got 2 kids, and our daughters want to go. We're not spending $1,500 a ticket going to Miami. We want to cultivate the experience.
Yes.
And so it's like, what can you do? I work great under pressure. That is probably my best
'Cause you gotta
attribute.
get shit done.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to focus.
can't
You're like
think.
laser
You can't
focused.
think too
You-
much,
yeah, and you
right?
can't take no-
You just
no-
have to look at the cards that are dealt. And I think that, a part of that was I sent some families over there, then to go to Venice and Florence, then to go to Venice and Rome, and then actually to get on a train and go out of the country and then take a yacht. And so, yet again,
keep going.
You just can keep
As long as the
going.
bank account can keep
But
providing
thanks,
it.
Taylor, because honestly, keep having those concerts in
Yeah.
areas. Because what's happening is her tickets are less expensive over there for
I get what
row
you're saying.
9
Okay.
versus Miami. You're in the
Okay.
nosebleeds for the same amount of the ticket.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because then you get to go see her in another country.
Right.
So it's an added
Right.
experience. to
But
the whole
those
thing.
families are funny. They're like, this is our once in a lifetime. I'm
No
like, tell the
kidding.
kids
Don't
Christmas
fuck it
is
up.
going to be light this year, but they'll go back.
What are some of the challenges that you're facing with this?
I really think that folks get on and try to use
Google and all
Google.
this.
They
It's
use
kinda
their
cheating.
Amex points.
They're
That is a
cheating,
huge
yeah.
fight too for me. But I think in those cases, then I do the excursions for them
fun.
and try to cultivate that. But yeah, I mean, Google is everyone's best and worst enemy, right?
Yeah, because you go down a rabbit hole with Google.
Whether it's clothing or real
Yeah.
estate or whatever else. But yeah, that's probably a challenge.
So what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to start a travel company?
I think the advice I would say is an entrepreneur, right? Like, don't be scared to take that leap of faith. Tech pays wonderful. But for me, I had to decide, do I want to
Corporate.
keep working for the boss man and the big guys, or should I go out on my own and leverage the network that I've built through technology, which is all over the globe? And, I was reached out from a guy from Microsoft that said, will you do my honeymoon? So it's like now I've built that worldwide group.
Connection.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey Goodhand, I don't know if he was like VP of Microsoft years ago. Went on a date on his 50th birthday
He
to New York
did?
City. Yeah. So I don't even know if he's still part of Microsoft, but I know he got married. And how you
Here-
doing?
Hey, Mort.
Oh, where's he at? Oh, here he
Oh.
comes.
Oh, no, it's
fine.
it's so
fine.
funny. It's not him.
We
it's
like
the
to
guy.
keep these sort of like they're supposed to be fun and like we're not gonna like it's yeah. No, you should bring him down.
It's fine.
Could make a cameo.
Yeah. Yeah, you should bring him down. He He needs to make
You know what? So can you name like all the countries you've been to? Because that's kind of interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, from
It's
the top.
oh my gosh.
Where'd you start? Thank you.
Where I started was my 16th
first
birthday
trip out of the
in
country.
Venice.
Oh, nice.
I stayed for a week, and I built the itinerary for my parents, and that was before Google. Okay. So what I did, I went to the library.
So
I had my library.
You were already training for this before you even.
Well, I
getting
just,
paid.
you know, I think my mom and I have a sense of travel differently. She is very about the hotel, the spa, and eating in the hotel. I'm like, there's a big
very
world out there.
ladylike.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think for me, I read through a ton of
You
books.
want to hop on a four-wheeler and shoot something.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was definitely the starting point.
Did you go on that trip with Elizabeth, the alligators? Was that you?
You know what? I chose not to.
Y'all, tell the audience about that trip. I wish Elizabeth was here. She might pop
she'll be
in.
here soon.
Yeah, maybe we could let her
hopefully,
talk about that trip.
No, my favorite is Portugal. My favorite is Japan for skiing.
I can't. It's so funny to hear like
Switzerland.
somebody say Japan for skiing.
Oh my God, it's fabulous.
Oh, speaking of the devil, look who's arrived. The lady in yellow,
How
the
convenient.
canary.
I'm glad I didn't wear yellow today
Oh my
because
God, y'all
I
would've
had
been
yellow
twins.
on. That is so funny.
Oh gosh, come on in. We have Elizabeth Smith here, everyone, in yellow. Look like a canary flying in from the pier. She just
Funny.
She just flew in.
It's her birthday, so we.
It's your birthday?
It is her birthday.
Oh.
Well, just go with it because her birthday party's tonight. So,
Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, I just think that it's word of mouth. If as much as I can get, the reviews are great. Like, I just need folks to realize that I really can make a true
Business out of this.
yes.
Yeah, and if you've been already practicing doing this since you were a kid, I mean, it's already
Right.
comes natural.
From the library to the Google.
With
know?
all your traveling already that you've done for work in the past, it's all kind of tying together now.
And I'll tell you how I even got the thought of it, that it was possible too, is Sarah Jane. She was in my wedding, my best friend in Savannah, because meeting her while I met my
Sarah
husband
Jane,
there.
you know them Southern names, gotta have
Yeah.
two of them.
Oh, how you know? But she owned baby boutiques, Hilton Head, Savannah, all that. And when COVID hit, you know, she really said, these reliable. You can speak to this. Where's the reliable employee? They didn't show up anymore. So she was missing a lot of her.
Oh God, don't even get me started.
But what do you think when you think about baby boutiques? You think, wow, I have a cultivated audience that really, I can go sell Disney to them. And that's what she
Yeah.
did. So she took me on a cruise that was an agency cruise. And of course, I tried to find the highest hierarchy out there. And
She said, who's the boss? I
yeah,
need to know.
and I talked to the guy, and he's like, look, if you want to sign some contracts with us and then start to learn the process, you can sign your own contracts, and that's what I did.
Very cool.
Because, you know, there's a lot of cuts in there, Jesse.
Gosh, so you're just getting going with this.
Yes.
But you've already feel like you've been doing it forever. But now to go off on your own is pretty scary. To start a business
Yes.
and leave a company like you. I mean, you were top of your tier with what you were doing, and it's exciting and nerve wracking all at the same time. But so what's your future like? What's going to be your first big planning trip, and for who? Can we talk about that?
Well,
Do you know this person?
Yes. No names.
She
but,
just showed up, actually.
But, you know, NASCAR has become, just with us having a home out at Lake Norman in Cornelius, NASCAR has been a big part of travel. And because of some of the events I've even put on, so whether it's corporate events too, outside of just family travel, luxury travel.
Have you done the whole
basic
camping thing, like in the middle of the racetrack before?
Oh,
I've always wanted to do that. I've never
I
done
haven't
it.
done the camping thing, but I have been on the ground level in the infield up
It's
to the
crazy
box.
when you see how the roads are, or they design the tracks. They're literally like, it's like they have to get going so fast to
Yes.
get going around it.
Yes.
I got to tell you a really quick story, really quick.
I can't
Really
wait.
quick. So my mother actually took us to Carowinds when we were like middle school, and me and my brother got to bring a friend. You know, you get to bring somebody. So I'm like looking at Elizabeth over there. She looks so pretty and
You're
yellow.
so pretty.
So my mom was like, all right, let's load up. Let's go to Carowinds. She had just bought like this back in the day when the new Camaro had this new look. It was a big deal. My mom bought one. She was a huge fan of Jeff Gordon. And as a kid, people used to tell me I looked like him. And I was like, I didn't even really, I was like, now we're much, much older. But So she's like, goes to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Okay.
And she's like just driving around the speedway, and she's like kind of getting a little you call it nosy. And I'm like,
nosy.
And I'm like, Mom, she's like, y'all put your seatbelts on. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So she's like, all right. She's like, here's my camera. Back then it was cameras, you know.
Yeah.
She throws the camera in the back seat. She gets on the racetrack, and she starts to go on this fucking racetrack, and she is flying. We're going like 90 miles an hour.
Wait, your mother is
my
driving
mom,
a
she
vehicle?
broke into the racetrack. True story.
Is this real?
Yes, yes. So she literally is like fucking going 90 miles an hour on this racetrack in Charlotte with 3 kids in the car. And so next thing you know, there's like helicopters and fire trucks like surrounding my mom. They're like, ma'am, pull over. So she pulls the car over. She's like, what? The gate was open. I thought I could just test it out. I'm not even kidding you. I'll have to find a picture of that.
Did
she's
she
like,
get arrested? She should.
No, she didn't get arrested.
Well, that's because that was in the 90s. It had to be.
It was in the 90s,
Of course it was.
Shows our age, my
Yeah.
age. But no, so she literally basically broke into the Charlotte Motor Speedway because Jeff Gordon was filming a Pepsi commercial, and she wanted to get attention from him. I'm like, Mom, you almost killed us. Like,
Yeah.
She's like, I got this new fast car. She's out there. It's like Jeff Gordon's filming a Pepsi commercial. She drives. She literally got out of the car and moved the little arm that was blocking it. So, and she was like playing that. Like, oh, I don't know.
Well, tell your mom to try that now because listen, they will kick you off that track so quick.
Oh my God.
And
she still doesn't know how she didn't get arrested. Mom,
That's funny.
Bad mom.
Well, what she should do is go back and do an experience.
Try to do
with
it again.
Me.
Oh God, you two. But this time you have to wear a helmet. I see you in the front seat with a helmet on.
I mean, we can just send her up to the BMW plant in Greenville, South Carolina.
Herself. I swear. And she just retired last Friday, so maybe this could be a good gift for her. A surprise retirement gift to ride with Jeff Gordon in a race car. I think she would just
oh my
piss
God,
herself.
Jesse, where does he go? Well, I think too, like one thing I did want to talk about today is I think that corporate America has become very challenging. And
people are scared shit of working for corporate.
And it's really scary because you are definitely not guaranteed a job because of your and then
death.
Longevity. I think where you looked at a resume for 15 years and you said
on that chair.
how loyal people were to companies, and today none of that matters. And I think, you don't want to become discouraged, but actually look at the positive and say, what am I passionate about?
That's what I love about you.
You're
very optimistic.
You always
have like a resolution, a solution. And I always tell my staff, I'm like, come to me with a solution. Don't come to me with a problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
How are we going to fix it instead of bitch about it?
Right. And I'm big on practice what you preach too, which I know you do. And that's...
Practice what you preach. Amen, girl.
Amen. But...
So back to the travel company, since
yes.
it's new and fresh, and it's so. Do you have a couple people you're about to like?
Yeah, I mean, I think that launching it today and doing this podcast with you is a wonderful thing, and it means a lot to me.
What is your vision for this whole company?
I
Like,
think,
do you want employees? Do you want like a lot of people underneath?
Yes,
you just want to be firsthand dealing with you?
I think that I would like to build longevity clients and then get the folks that are passionate about people.
Do you get to go with them? Is that part of it?
Well, I'll tell you, I did a fabulous 40th birthday party for
Those are the best 40th birthdays.
I know, tell me about it. 16 people all throughout North America, and I had to get them all there. 2 were in private planes, and then one wanted to come in on a helicopter to meet us on the boat.
Fun.
But the guy wanted me there, and it was great because they paid for my stay. But also there were those tweaks and there were those mishaps.
And you got to figure out how to fix it
like
very quickly.
He didn't want to deal with any of that. And so for me, it's like learn from what didn't work out.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. You learn from it and try not to let it happen again. I mean,
right.
Because you're going to have, when you're traveling and you have all these moving parts, and if you got friends and kids and luggage, and I'm learning, I travel so light now when I go anywhere because I always just learn you can buy it when you get there. If you really,
right.
I mean, just bringing all this extra stuff with you turns into being like a whole, like, it becomes a whole thing. And I'm like, you can go somewhere. I was watching a podcast with Caroline Stansberry from Ladies of London.
Oh, love her.
She's got a great podcast right now. I hope to have her on at some point. But she was saying, like, you know, it's so exhausting to carry all this stuff around. When you get there, like, you have washing machines and dryers where you go now. I mean, most places you stay, there's a way to wash things. And then just go to, like, whether it's like a Zara or something, if you just get a couple little things to get you through.
So you know what's fun.
And if you lose it, don't give a shit if you lose it. But if you bring your favorite
the clothes
stuff
that I'm wearing like this, I buy everything over in Europe because the style is very chic
one of a kind,
and it's less expensive than in North America, honestly.
You are such a little trendsetter. You always look so hot.
Thank you, babe.
We got the sexy Monica Fish here today, everybody.
Well, I think, you know, we can all let ourselves go, but outside you better keep it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Monica, when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be an actress, and then I wanted to be a sports broadcaster, and then I wanted to be a CEO.
Well, you're on your way.
It's funny how that works, right? Mm-hmm. So I think if you really like define that, the passion was to be a leader and to
be your own boss,
relate to people. And that is my true calling in life. Like, I can't meet enough people in a room. You know, I'm no better than the next guy, but I think it's so important to understand where they walk through life from that stance. Because your life is very different from mine in a lot of aspects, but there's things that you and I are joined at the hip at, which is great.
Yeah, we did have a sponsor today.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we did. A mutual friend of ours.
Beck Smith.
Beck Smith, yes. Beck has an insurance company here in town.
He does.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think, you know, Beck does life and health insurance, and he has been working for the Griffin Insurance Group.
E-Step.
Yes. Love that. 20 years. And one of the great things about Beck, he's very involved with the community, and he is going to be the president of the Azalea Festival this year. And he has a lot of new things in store just to continue that evolution of the Azalea
What an
Festival.
honor, and he's going to be the perfect guy for the job.
He is, isn't he? I think it's great. I think it's great that he's on the side of a city bus. I always laugh when his face goes by.
I sent you a picture. So Beck is on the buses, and literally every time we see Beck driving by through an intersection, I'm like, Monica, I'm like taking pictures.
Like,
trying to,
Jesse.
Look, there's Beck going by on the bus.
I know.
It's a trip. I mean,
instead of find Waldo, find Beck around Wilmington.
Where's Beck? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But you know what I should say? My next plan would be to take all the people that mean something to me, Dr. Neil, Elizabeth, yourself. Like, we should go adventure somewhere.
We're all due for a trip.
We need a trip.
A wild, wild trip.
Because look, we can work and keep money in our bank accounts, and then that money can go with us when we die. We don't
work
want
hard
that.
to play hard.
You do, and you have to enjoy life and live a little, right?
Well, I don't think you haven't talked about how we met. So actually,
Ooh.
how did you and I meet?
Yet again, putting people together. So COVID, when no one was supposed to be traveling.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, help me. I've got to get out and see people. So Mark Smith, a local here in Wilmington, they rented a house up in
Lake Norman.
Yes, I think it was like Morrisville area.
Nobody was supposed to be with anybody.
Nobody.
It was a very small group. Small. But yeah, we rented this huge house.
Oh, it's fabulous.
So there was probably a good bit of us.
And all walks of life.
Yeah, and then so you and Chip showed up, and Mark was like, "So two of my really good friends are coming, and you're gonna meet them. You're gonna love Monica, especially." And I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to meet her." So what do you know? We hit it off like a champ.
We did.
We've not missed a beat.
Oh my God, we haven't. And it's so nice now because you come up to my house in Charlotte at Lake.
My pit stop. I have my own little room.
I love
up there.
it, and that is such an expectation.
And you've introduced me to so many of your friends.
Oh my God, and they love you. And that's why we're supportive.
Speaking of NASCAR people, my God, this neighborhood's out of control. So cool.
We're
looking
blessed.
forward to many more adventures with Monica.
Oh my gosh, always. And you never know what you're going to get yourself into.
And the thing about Monica is that I want people to know is, you and I are sort of teaming up to work on some more podcasts together. So this is going to be the first of many podcasts we're going to be doing. So we're sort of just getting our feet wet together on camera, and hope you're enjoying our fluidity and our friendship. And we can't wait to give you some more. And we'll be interviewing more local friends and entrepreneurs, and we have doctors, and we have developers, and we have all kinds of fun, interesting friends, and and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
I know. It's going to be big. I believe in it.
Well, Monica, you want to give some shout-outs to any of your friends, family, Chip?
Oh, my husband, thank you for, just being there to support me and knowing that you never know where the fish is.
You never know where the fish is.
The fish is on the move.
Fish is swimming all over the
And,
place.
the man seems to never get.
Hold on to your gills, everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
The fish is coming in.
I really want to say to Manola, thank you. I can't wait for you to meet him. I cannot wait. He is a huge influencer. He's done an exceptional job. And, he came from nothing. And I think that story of where he's at today, with the big fight and what's coming up? Who's fighting Mike
UFC?
Tyson?
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Who is fighting that guy? The influencer guy.
Oh,
He's
gosh.
a nobody. Sorry. John Paul.
John Paul.
Jay.
Logan Holt.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. I'm scared of
So-
him already.
It's great because he was like, I didn't even know how to really pay for gas in my car. And now I'm being able to go to all these huge functions. And I think that is the way I see myself.
You bust your ass.
Yes.
You make it count. I mean, the thing is the same thing. You can't just go on a trip to Europe for free unless
No, you can't.
unless you're hooking or something. But
I would probably say hostel experiences probably aren't as good as.
not at our age. I think when you're younger, you
Yeah.
can travel like that. But I think we've been too spoiled. But yeah, look up Monica Fish. She'll be your travel tour lady. And
Yes. And
I can't think of a
go
better,
on a
funner
trip.
person to hang out with on any vacation.
Listen, I'll make everyone's dreams come true, no matter what the heck it is.
Playing high tea with giraffes.
Yeah.
From what before we cut this out,
Yeah.
what is the most craziest, wildest trip
Oh.
that you've planned and
I
been
just
on?
wouldn't want this to air.
Well, without being too overly
Well,
informative. There you go.
oh yeah, Alaska, and helicoptering, sledding with the dogs.
Polar bears.
Yes,
So Alaska, it seems like a lot of people in the summertime, especially from North Carolina. Oh, you did?
the cruises,
Anna
and then
Marie
where
and-
you're
and her
able,
husband were out there
to
too.
get off the boat and you actually do the excursions. Like that's the piece where the children, I would say,
Go see the penguins and
yeah. But I actually have to tell you this. A husband wanted to send his wife to a far out land in
far out land.
Tokyo, and she loves. So I had to organize.
She loves. This is like a
And that's
like a
fine.
fetish.
Possibly,
Fetish travel.
But I'll be
Some
honest,
bondage.
I've had to do some of those.
Hey,
and
I love
look,
it.
like
Keeps
I
the
said,
spice.
it's a
Did
wide
she
open.
find or the
Yes, I
village?
did. They were very pleased, and I got some references. So I'm not too sure how
Doesn't
much
discriminate.
I don't
All shapes and
discriminate.
sizes.
I support it all.
So what's the name of your website and how do people contact you?
Travel Like the Fish, and just go to the website. And then I also have Travel Like the Fish on TikTok as well as Instagram, so you can find me on both of those.
Like, follow.
Oh my gosh, I'm continuing to add just the videos
What's
that I
your
provide.
next trip? What do you have lined up?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to Singapore
What, tomorrow?
in. I know, honestly.
Every time she's somewhere.
Yeah.
She's one of the very few people I share my location with constantly. So it's kind of
Yeah,
exciting.
so Singapore in October. I haven't booked my own hotel, never do until the last second. But I love just taking inventory and looking at the different areas. And I'm a foodie as well. Of course, you have to be, right?
Yes, it's a big part of travel.
So
You have to eat.
that'll be fun.
Awesome.
And then we're going to go to the Greek islands
Yes, let's go.
in Ibiza.
When is this happening?
We're kidnapping Neil,
Yes.
who owns the home.
So Neil owns the house once again, like we said. This beautiful, beautiful place. It's definitely like a. Oh, hello,
Oh,
Morty.
that's Morty again.
But no, this has been a delight to have you on. And
Oh, thank
I
you.
can't wait to do this again. And next thing you know, we'll have a special guest. So stay tuned to see who it will be.
Excellent. Have a good one.
Today's sponsors is Beck Smith and Griffin East Step Insurance Group. Beck works with business owners and families throughout every phase of their lives. Among others, he focuses on life, disability, and long-term care planning, tax reduction strategies, and more. Beck has always been an active member of the local community. He is our president of the Isaiah Festival this year.